My friends, in this bustling tapestry of our modern existence, we find ourselves ensnared in one of humanity's most perplexing paradoxes. Daily, I observe countless souls, adrift in a sea of ceaseless activity, yet desperately yearning for connection, convinced that their missing piece lies just beyond reach, nestled within another human heart. We have been so profoundly programmed, you see, to perceive loneliness not merely as a state, but as a dire affliction, a disease for which companionship is the solitary, infallible cure. Yet what if I were to unveil a truth so startling, so profoundly simple, that it shatters every preconceived notion you hold about connection, about self, and about your own boundless potential? What if I told you that the very opposite of this societal dictate holds the key to your truest liberation? Prepare yourselves, for we are about to journey into the deepest recesses of the human mind and the quantum field itself, revealing how embracing a forgotten power can unlock your ultimate destiny. Here is what truly fascinates me about the intricate dance between the human brain and our boundless consciousness. When you are perpetually enmeshed in the lives of others, constantly surrounded, relentlessly seeking external validation and connection, your brain, surprisingly, operates in its most constrained, most limited state. It becomes akin to a dependency, an unconscious craving, where you are quite literally addicted to the energy of other people. This isn't merely philosophical musing. No, my friends, this is the stark, verifiable truth of pure neuroscience, a foundational principle often overlooked in our incessant pursuit of external solace. Let me share something truly extraordinary that unfolded within the confines of our research, a revelation that peels back the layers of conventional wisdom. We observed a participant, whom we shall call Maria, who for 2 decades ricocheted from one relationship to another, never enduring more than a mere few months in single blessedness. Her plaintive cry to us echoed the very essence of her internal struggle. I can't be alone, I simply cannot handle the silence. Maria's brain, it turned out, had become profoundly hardwired, its neural pathways literally sculpted by this relentless dependency, constantly seeking external validation to define her existence. But then, the plot thickens, for when we began meticulously measuring her brain activity during our immersive meditation workshops, something truly remarkable transpired. After a mere 3 weeks of practicing conscious solitude, not a desolate loneliness, but an intentional, deeply aware communion with self, her brain waves underwent a dramatic metamorphosis. The incessant beta wave activity, that chattering, anxious frequency characteristic of a mind constantly scanning its environment, began a profound deceleration. In its place, her brain initiated the production of more alpha waves, and subsequently the deeply regenerative theta waves, precisely the same patterns we observe in the most advanced, seasoned meditators. This, my friends, is where the rigorous discipline of science converges with the boundless wonder of the human spirit. In this profound state of conscious solitude, your brain releases an entirely different symphony of neurotransmitters. Instead of the fleeting, addictive rush of dopamine that accompanies external validation, you begin to produce sustained, enduring levels of serotonin and GABA, the very chemicals intimately associated with genuine contentment, inner peace, and profound tranquility. Pause for a moment and truly ponder this profound truth. Your brain possesses the awe-inspiring capacity to evolve far beyond its primitive, hardwired need for constant external connection. You, my friends, are quite literally carrying around the most sophisticated, complex technology known to the universe, nestled quietly between your ears. Yet, the vast majority of humanity never truly learns to operate this magnificent instrument at its highest, most sublime potential. When you make the courageous choice to be truly, profoundly alone with your own consciousness, you ignite a powerful cascade of neurological events that literally reshape the very architecture of your brain. Your prefrontal cortex, that distinguished maestro responsible for higher-order thinking, logical reasoning, and nuanced emotional regulation, surges into heightened activity. Simultaneously, the amygdala, the primal seat of fear and anxiety, begins to quiet its insistent clamor, gradually receding into a peaceful slumber. While these theories may seem esoteric, rest assured, my friends, these profound shifts are not mere conjecture. They are tangible, measurable changes observable on the most advanced brain scans. But here, then, lies the most crucial, the most liberating revelation. This profound transformation isn't solely about the physical act of being alone. It is, at its heart, about learning to become energetically self-sufficient. And when you master this sacred art, something truly magical, truly alchemical, unfolds. You cease operating from a perpetual state of desperate need, and instead begin to create, to manifest from an authentic, immutable place of inner wholeness. From the very dawn of our existence, my dear friends, society has relentlessly whispered a compelling narrative into our subconscious, a story so pervasive it saturates our films, reverberates through our music, fills the pages of our literature, and colors our most intimate family conversations. This pervasive tale decrees with unwavering conviction that you, as an individual, remain incomplete, fundamentally unfinished, until you discover the one, that singular missing piece that will finally make you whole. But I tell you, this is nothing more than cultural programming, a sophisticated conditioning that literally rewires your brain's delicate neurocircuits, creating a state of perpetual, anxious seeking. Allow me to illuminate the insidious mechanisms at play within your brain when you become ensnared in this relentless cycle. Each time you seek validation, a fleeting glance, an approving word, or a simple acknowledgement from another human being, your brain rewards you with a swift, exhilarating burst of dopamine. It feels good, does it not? But alas, this sensation is fleeting, ephemeral, a temporary fix that inevitably compels you to seek more, and still more. This, my friends, is precisely the same neural pathway that underlies chemical addiction. You are quite literally becoming addicted to the approval, the very presence, the magnetic energy of other people. I vividly recall my interactions with Michael, a brilliant scientist, a man of extraordinary intellect boasting 3 PhDs, capable of unraveling complex quantum equations within his own mind. Yet this same genius found himself utterly incapable of spending a solitary Friday night alone. Despite his profound intellectual grasp of the universe, his brain operated under these deeply embedded primal programs. Every whisper of discomfort from being alone triggered his sympathetic nervous system, plunging him into a visceral fight-or-flight mode. His cortisol levels would spike, his heart rate would surge, and without conscious thought, he would instinctively reach for his phone, desperate to find someone, anyone, with whom to connect. It was truly fascinating to observe the brain activity during these moments of self-imposed panic. We consistently detected intense beta wave patterns, the undeniable signature of an anxious, relentlessly seeking mind. Yet, what strikes me as most poignant, most telling, is that these patterns were not natural, inherent states. No, they were painstakingly learned responses, forged and reinforced by years, indeed decades, of relentless social conditioning. You see, your brain is a vigilant sentinel, ceaselessly scanning its environment, seeking vital cues about what constitutes safety and what poses a threat. And society, in its infinite wisdom, has programmed us to interpret solitude as nothing short of peril, triggering the very same ancient survival mechanisms that compelled our ancestors to flee from predators. Yet, my friends, here lies the profound truth. This is a false alarm, a grand illusion. When we peer into the quantum field, that invisible ocean of energy that intrinsically connects all things, we witness something truly remarkable. Every single person is already complete, already whole, at an immutable energetic level. The gnawing feeling of incompleteness is not born from any real, inherent lack within your being. No, it emanates from a program, a powerful but false script, running deep within your brain, whispering to you that you require someone else to achieve completion. Consider this truth for a moment. Every single cell within your miraculous body possesses the innate wisdom to maintain perfect, exquisite balance entirely on its own. Your heart beats with unwavering rhythm without any external directive. Your lungs instinctively know precisely when to breathe. Your DNA diligently repairs itself without consulting anyone else. You, my friends, are already a masterpiece of profound self-sufficiency at a purely biological level. So why then have we allowed ourselves to be so utterly convinced that we require another human being to be emotionally complete? The neural patterns that hold you captive in these seeking behaviors are like deeply etched grooves within the very fabric of your brain. Each time you succumb to the primal urge to seek external validation, you deepen these grooves, reinforcing the very pathways that keep you bound. But here, my friends, is the incredible, liberating secret of neuroplasticity. You possess the innate power to forge new patterns, to literally rewire your brain, guiding it to discover a profound, unwavering completeness from deep within your own being. This revolutionary journey is not about transforming into a hermit or rejecting the precious tapestry of human connection. Rather, it is about shattering the neurological chains of addiction to external validation. It is about recognizing with absolute clarity that the most profound, most sacred relationship you will ever cultivate in this lifetime is with your own boundless consciousness. There exists a profound, indeed a crucial distinction between merely being lonely and being powerfully, intentionally alone. You see, loneliness, my friends, is what inevitably manifests when you are unconsciously separated from others, a gnawing void. But conscious solitude, that, my friends, is an entirely different realm. That is when you are intentionally present, intimately connected with yourself, and this radical shift fundamentally reorients everything about your brain's very operating system. Let me tell you about a remarkable discovery that emerged from the depths of our diligent research. When an individual succumbs to the throes of loneliness, their brain triggers the production of inflammatory chemicals. A surge of stress hormones inundates their system, and their very immune function precipitously declines. Yet, when an individual conscientiously embraces conscious solitude, a completely divergent phenomenon unfolds. Their brain commences the production of elevated levels of BDNF, that is, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a potent substance that quite literally facilitates the growth of new, vital neural connections, enriching the very landscape of the mind. In our workshops, we meticulously measure brain activity across myriad states of consciousness, and what we consistently uncover is nothing short of breathtaking. When you consciously immerse yourself in solitude, fully present with your inner being, your brain waves embark on a magnificent transformation. You gracefully transition from the frenetic high beta waves, the very frequency associated with stress and external distraction, into the expansive, tranquil realms of alpha, and ultimately, into the profound theta state. And here, my friends, is where the true alchemy of this practice unfurls. In the theta state, while consciously alone, your brain achieves an unprecedented level of coherence. Its disparate regions begin to communicate in perfect, synchronized harmony. It is as if your neural networks are, perhaps for the very first time, engaging in their clearest, most profound conversation with one another. And this, my friends, is when something truly extraordinary begins to occur in the quantum field itself. Allow me to translate this into tangible, practical terms. Imagine for a moment that you are sitting alone in your room. Most individuals, driven by an ingrained compulsion, immediately reach for their phone, instinctively flick on the television, or desperately engage in any activity that might offer an escape from that profound, often uncomfortable silence. But what if instead you took a deep, deliberate breath and allowed yourself to become intimately aware of the subtle energy field that envelops you? Quantum physics, in its boundless wisdom, reveals that consciousness is not merely confined within the narrow confines of our brains. It expansively extends, permeating the very field that surrounds us. We had a participant, Jennifer, a high-powered corporate executive who, for a remarkable 15 years, had not spent a single weekend in solitude. When she first cautiously embarked upon the practice of conscious solitude, her energy field, as we could precisely measure, was chaotic, fragmented, and discordant. Yet, after an intensive mere 6 weeks of daily committed practice, something profound transformed. Her coherence levels, the intricate harmony within her energy field, skyrocketed by an astonishing 300%. Her brain waves remarkably mirrored the serene patterns observed in the most advanced meditators. Here is what is transpiring at a fundamental quantum level. When you are immersed in conscious solitude, your individual field of consciousness becomes more exquisitely organized, more powerfully coherent. You are no longer dissipating or fragmenting your precious energy by incessantly seeking external connection outside of yourself. Instead, you are consciously consolidating your energy, powerfully strengthening it, allowing it to blossom into a far more potent, self-sustaining force. Consider it thus: every single thought you entertain creates a subtle, energetic ripple in the vast ocean of the quantum field. When you are perpetually seeking external validation, your thoughts are scattered, diffused, inadvertently creating a maelstrom of chaos within your personal field. But in the sanctuary of conscious solitude, your thoughts become acutely focused, intentionally directed, profoundly concentrated. You begin, quite literally, to create coherent, powerful waves within the quantum field itself. And here is where the journey truly becomes exhilarating. As your neural pathways undergo this remarkable rewiring through consistent conscious solitude, you begin to access higher, more profound brain functions. The prefrontal cortex, that revered CEO of your brain, surges into heightened activity. You commence making decisions from a place of crystal clarity rather than being swayed by transient emotional needs. Your perception sharpens, your intuition strengthens, becoming a reliable compass for your path. While the rest of the world remains caught in the relentless addiction of constant external connection, you, my friends, are cultivating a secret superpower, the extraordinary ability to be powerfully, wholly alone. This is not merely about achieving a comfortable relationship with yourself, it is about accessing profound states of consciousness that are exclusively, mysteriously available in the embrace of solitude. The quantum field, in its profound wisdom, responds fundamentally differently to a coherent, self-contained consciousness than it does to a fragmented, perpetually seeking one. When you are truly, profoundly present in your solitude, you transform into a powerful quantum observer, capable of collapsing probability waves into astonishing new realities, emanating from a place of absolute wholeness rather than persistent need. Here is a truth, my friends, that most people fail to grasp. Your most intense emotional attachments to relationships are, at their deepest level, simply chemical dependencies within the intricate tapestry of your brain. Each time you experience validation, connection, or even the familiar pang of conflict within a relationship, your body, with its innate wisdom, produces a very specific, potent cocktail of chemicals. And just like any other addiction, my friends, your very cells become dependent, indeed quite hungry, for these emotionally charged chemicals. Let me share something truly profound we unearthed in our tireless research. When an individual is ensnared in an emotionally dependent state, their body literally hungers, yearns for the next hit of these relationship-based chemicals. Cortisol surges from drama, dopamine rushes from validation, oxytocin flows from connection. It is akin to being strapped onto an emotional roller coaster that never, ever truly stops. I recall my work with David, a talented artist who, paradoxically, found himself unable to create unless he was immersed in a profound emotional crisis. He would careen from one intense relationship to another, utilizing the intoxicating chemical high of emotional chaos to fuel his artistic expression. But here, my friends, is what proved truly fascinating. When we imparted to him the simple yet profound meditation practice I am about to share, something utterly remarkable unfolded. The practice itself is disarmingly simple, yet it demands a profound courage. You sit alone, eyes closed, and instead of recoiling from the inevitable discomfort of solitude, you bravely lean into it. You begin, consciously, to observe the very withdrawal symptoms your body experiences when it is denied its customary dose of emotional chemicals. The gnawing anxiety, the restless urgency, the irresistible impulse to reach for your phone. Understand this, my friends. These are not enemies, but mere symptoms of withdrawal from an underlying emotional addiction. And here, in this very observation, is where the magnificent transformation begins. As you sit steadfastly in meditation, breathing deeply, remaining intimately present with these sensations, your brain embarks on a new symphony of chemical production. Instead of the wild, addictive highs and crushing lows of relationship-based emotions, you begin to produce stable, sustainable levels of serotonin, GABA, and anandamide, the very bliss molecule itself. You see, every uncomfortable sensation you encounter in the solitude of your own being is not a void, but actually pure, raw energy, the potential creative force, simply waiting to be transmuted into something glorious. Think of it, all that emotional energy you have habitually invested in endlessly seeking, frantically maintaining, and painstakingly recovering from relationships can now be consciously redirected, transformed into pure, unadulterated creative power. In our advanced workshops, we have meticulously measured the sheer energy output of individuals who have attained this state of profound emotional liberation. The readings, my friends, are nothing short of extraordinary. When you courageously break free from the shackles of emotional dependency, your body's energy field blossoms into greater coherence, greater power. You are no longer leaking your vital life force into emotional addictions. Let me illustrate what this looks like in tangible terms. Instead of instinctively reaching for your phone when a wave of loneliness washes over you, you bravely sit with that energy. You breathe into it, consciously allowing yourself to feel it morph, to transform from anxiety into exhilarating excitement, from a hollow emptiness into boundless possibility. This, my friends, is not mere metaphysical conjecture. We possess the tools to accurately measure these profound changes in brain chemistry. And the most exquisite, most beautiful part, as these tenacious emotional patterns begin to dissolve, to liberate your spirit, your creative energy skyrockets to unprecedented heights. Remember David, the artist? Once he courageously severed the ties of his emotional dependencies, his art, his very expression, underwent a complete, radical transformation. He began creating from an inner wellspring of profound fullness rather than from a desperate emotional lack. His work became more authentic, more potent, more undeniably, truly his own. Allow me to share something truly remarkable about your brain's astonishing capacity for profound change. When we meticulously studied long-term practitioners of conscious solitude in our advanced workshops, we uncovered a revelation that profoundly challenges virtually everything we once believed about the limits of human consciousness. You see, the brain does not merely adapt to solitude, it actively, vibrantly thrives in it, finding a deep nourishment often missing in the din of external connection. In our intensive research, we deployed advanced brain imaging technology to painstakingly track what transpires when an individual makes a steadfast commitment to regular, intentional periods of conscious solitude. And what we found, my friends, was nothing short of extraordinary. After a mere 8 weeks of consistent daily practice, entirely new neural networks began to form, vigorously sprouting in precisely those regions of the brain intimately associated with self-awareness and emotional regulation. It was, quite literally, like witnessing a verdant garden grow and flourish in real time within the very landscape of the mind. Let me share the story of Robert, a high-flying business executive who graciously participated in our pivotal study. For 3 decades, Robert had operated in a state of ceaseless connection, perpetual meetings, relentless phone calls, always enveloped by people. His initial brain scans painted a clear picture, displaying intense activity in the default mode network, the very area intrinsically linked with social anxiety and an incessant, often unproductive, self-referential thinking. His brain, you see, was literally wired for a deep-seated dependency on external input, perpetually seeking cues from the world outside himself. But here, my friends, is where the story truly becomes fascinating. After Robert committed to just 2 hours of conscious solitude practice daily, something truly remarkable unfolded within the very architecture of his brain. The neural pathways historically associated with anxiety and external validation began a process of graceful pruning, slowly receding, making way for new, robust pathways that simultaneously formed in his prefrontal cortex. His brain, to put it simply, was quite literally rebuilding itself, elegantly re-engineering its internal scaffolding to support profound independence rather than ingrained dependency. And this, my friends, is where the marvel of neuroplasticity becomes truly magical. When you consistently, steadfastly practice conscious solitude, your brain embarks upon the creation of what we term self-referential stability. Instead of needing a constant deluge of external input to feel balanced or complete, your neural networks reorganize themselves, achieving a profound self-sufficiency, capable of maintaining equilibrium entirely from within. It is as if your brain consciously cultivates its own thriving, resilient emotional ecosystem. The measurable changes are simply stunning. We meticulously observe increased grey matter density in those crucial regions associated with deep self-awareness, notably the insula, the very part of your brain that empowers you to intimately understand your internal states, becomes more active, more powerfully connected to other vital brain regions. Furthermore, the anterior cingulate cortex, a maestro in the regulation of emotions, exhibits dramatically enhanced connectivity. You see, my friends, every single time you choose to sit with yourself, to consciously lean into your own being instead of desperately seeking external distraction, you are quite literally constructing new neural highways within your mind. It is akin to laying down shimmering golden paths that unerringly lead to greater self-sufficiency and profound inner freedom. And here is the truly remarkable part. These profound, positive changes become permanent with consistent, dedicated practice. In our advanced studies, we consistently found that individuals who genuinely master solitude develop what we term coherent brain states. Their neural activity becomes exquisitely organized, far more efficient, far more harmonized. They require significantly less energy to effortlessly maintain emotional balance, simply because their brains have quite literally rewired themselves for profound self-sufficiency. Think about this for a moment. Every moment you consciously dedicate to solitude is like performing a powerful, strengthening rep at the gym for your brain. You are purposefully strengthening those neural networks that fundamentally support independence, while simultaneously weakening those insidious pathways that breed dependency. This, my friends, is not mere theoretical speculation. We possess the technology to vividly see these changes on brain scans, to precisely measure them in intricate brainwave patterns, and to meticulously track them through profound hormonal shifts. The most profound transformation, perhaps, unfurls within the default mode network, that intriguing part of your brain that activates when your conscious focus isn't consumed by external tasks. In most individuals, when they find themselves alone, this network often spirals into anxiety and relentless rumination. But in those rare souls who truly master solitude, this same network transforms, becoming a vibrant wellspring of unparalleled creativity, profound insight, and deep, resonant personal understanding. And here, my friends, is the truly revolutionary climax. Once these magnificent changes take firm root, they become your new, elevated baseline. Your brain quite literally forgets how to be dependent, for it has discovered something far more efficient, far more potent, far more true, authentic self-sufficiency. Once your brain gracefully rewires itself for profound self-sufficiency, my friends, something truly extraordinary begins to unfold. You start cultivating what I affectionately call the ultimate partnership. You know, that sacred, unbreakable bond between your own conscious mind and your vast, limitless quantum consciousness. You see, when you are no longer fragmenting your precious energy by endlessly seeking external completion, you can, at long last, experience a profound communion, an exquisite unity with your deepest self. Allow me to share a truly remarkable insight from our cutting-edge research. We utilized advanced energy field detection equipment to meticulously measure the coherence patterns of individuals who had mastered this intimate inner partnership. What we discovered was utterly astonishing. Their energy field signature was radically, undeniably different from those still desperately seeking external validation. It was more exquisitely organized, more powerfully coherent, undeniably more potent. Consider Lisa, one of our brilliant workshop participants, who approached us after decades spent in a relentless quest for completion through serial relationships. She candidly described herself as a serial relationship addict. Yet, when she courageously embarked upon the practice of self-communion, something utterly fascinating began to manifest. Her energy field measurements displayed a dramatic, undeniable shift. Instead of the chaotic, fragmented signature that once defined her, a serene, powerful coherence began to emanate. Think about this profound truth. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you experience, creates subtle yet potent ripples in your energy field. When you are perpetually seeking outside yourself, these ripples are fragmented, conflicting, creating a discordant symphony. But when you consciously cultivate this powerful inner partnership, these ripples coalesce. They become coherent waves, powerfully amplifying each other. It is as if your entire energy field begins to sing in perfect, harmonious resonance with itself. Here is what this translates to in practical, tangible terms, my friends. When you consciously immerse yourself in communion with your true self, you begin to access different, profound levels of your own consciousness. The analytical mind gracefully partners with profound intuition. The emotional body aligns itself with higher awareness. You, my friends, create what we call a vertical integration of consciousness, a complete and harmonious union. And here is where it becomes truly exhilarating. Once you firmly establish this powerful inner harmony, you naturally begin to attract higher, more resonant experiences into your life. Not because you are desperately seeking them, but simply because you are now vibrating at their very frequency. You see, a coherent energy field acts like a powerful magnet for similar experiences. It is pure physics, my friends, like attracts like in the boundless quantum field. In our advanced workshops, we have meticulously documented countless cases of individuals experiencing spontaneous expansions of consciousness once they achieved this sacred inner partnership. Their meditation experiences deepened profoundly, their intuitive abilities sharpened with remarkable clarity, their creative insights multiplied exponentially. All of this unfolded simply because they ceased looking outside for what could only ever truly be found within. Remember Lisa? 6 months after diligently mastering this inner partnership, her life transformed in ways she could never have possibly imagined. Here's the most captivating part. She was not actively seeking these changes. They naturally, gracefully emerged from her new state of profound self-completion. Her business thrived, her creative projects flourished, and yes, her relationships undeniably improved, but not because she desperately needed them to feel whole or complete. You see, my friends, when you exist in true, profound partnership with yourself, you become a conscious creator rather than a constant, desperate seeker. Your energy field shifts irrevocably from a pattern of gnawing need to a radiant pattern of boundless abundance. And this is not just spiritual rhetoric. We can measure these profound changes in the quantum field that gracefully envelops your very body. When you master conscious solitude, my friends, you are not merely changing your own life, you are actively participating in the next monumental leap of human evolution. You see, my friends, our primal biological drive for partnership served a crucial, indeed an indispensable, purpose in our collective survival as a species. But now we stand at the precipice of something far more extraordinary, something far more profound. Allow me to share a deeply profound observation we have made in our groundbreaking research. When an individual achieves true self-completion through the practice of conscious solitude, their unique contribution to the collective consciousness undergoes a dramatic, palpable shift. We can, in fact, precisely measure this shift using our advanced quantum field detectors. We have consistently found that a person in a state of coherent solitude affects the energy field around them in a radiant radius of up to 100 feet. You see, when you transcend the primitive biological imperative for constant external connection, you begin operating at a significantly higher frequency of consciousness. It is akin to profoundly upgrading your internal operating system. Instead of merely drawing energy from the collective field, you become a powerful generator of coherent energy that actively elevates the entire field. Consider James, a remarkable participant in our advanced studies. After he had diligently mastered conscious solitude, his mere presence alone began to profoundly affect group measurements in our workshops. People sitting near him consistently showed increased coherence in their own brain patterns, and this occurred without any direct, overt interaction whatsoever. You see, a self-complete consciousness naturally uplifts, naturally harmonizes the entire field around it. This, my friends, is precisely where evolution is leading us. We are steadily moving from a species that relies on external connection for basic survival to one that can maintain incredible creative power, immense inner peace, and profound self-awareness through conscious solitude. This is not about becoming isolated, no. It is about contributing generously and powerfully to the collective whole from a place of genuine, unwavering wholeness within yourself. And here is what is truly remarkable. As more individuals bravely master this elevated state, we are witnessing irrefutable evidence of a powerful quantum field effect. It is as if we are creating vibrant nodes of coherent consciousness that are beginning to intricately network together at a fundamental quantum level. Each person who courageously masters conscious solitude transforms into a beacon, powerfully strengthening this nascent field of evolved awareness for all of humanity. So, my friends, allow me to guide you step by step precisely how to embark upon this transformative, life-altering journey into the profound power of conscious solitude. You see, the entire process commences with a mere 15 minutes each day. First, seek out a quiet, undisturbed sanctuary, a sacred space where you will remain completely undisturbed. No phone, no external distractions, just you and your vast consciousness in pure, unadulterated communion. Begin by sitting comfortably, allowing your awareness to gently settle on the rhythmic cadence of your breath. But here, my friends, is the crucial difference, the pivotal key. Instead of attempting to forcibly clear your mind, you are going to actively start connecting with your future self. Quantum physics, in its boundless wisdom, reveals that all possible futures exist simultaneously within the infinite potential of the field. Your sacred task, then, is to consciously connect with that magnificent version of yourself who has already, effortlessly, mastered this profound and powerful solitude. Let me share a simple yet potent technique that we have witnessed create truly remarkable, indeed miraculous, results. Gently close your eyes and vividly imagine yourself 1 year from this very moment, completely at peace, utterly serene in your solitude. Feel the surging strength, the unwavering completeness, the profound, resonant sense of self-sufficiency that this future you embodies. You see, my friends, when you consciously engage in this powerful act, you are not merely imagining. You are, in the deepest sense, actually creating powerful quantum connections with that vibrant future state of being. Think about Emily, a soul who began this journey with just these simple 15 minutes. At first, she found it almost unbearable to sit still, her mind restless and yearning for distraction. But after just 2 weeks of consistent, dedicated practice, something profound and beautiful shifted within her. She began to feel an undeniable, irresistible draw towards longer periods of solitude, an internal yearning she had never experienced before. Her brain, quite literally, was rewiring itself, purposefully recalibrating its desires to crave these sacred moments of conscious communion with her true self. And here is the most exquisite, most encouraging part of this entire journey. You do not, my friends, have to wait years or even months to experience a profound transformation. Every single time you courageously choose solitude over distraction, you are diligently constructing new, empowering neural pathways within your brain. Every single time you steadfastly remain present with yourself instead of instinctively reaching for your phone, you are powerfully strengthening your profound connection to your evolved, radiant future self. You see, you are not merely engaging in a beneficial practice. You are actively answering an evolutionary call, a profound summons from the deepest parts of your being. Your consciousness is primed, ready to make this magnificent leap. Your brain is perfectly designed for this wondrous transformation. All that is truly required is your willing, courageous participation in this next glorious step of human evolution. Remember, my friends, you are never truly alone in your solitude. You are an integral part of a growing, conscious wave of awareness that is rapidly discovering the extraordinary, liberating power of being powerfully, wholly alone. And as you diligently master this profound state, you naturally transform into a living, breathing example of what is truly possible for the boundless canvas of human consciousness. The profound journey begins, always, with your very next breath. The future you, the magnificent self who has already mastered this sacred art, is already waiting, patiently, expectantly, in the quantum field. All you have to do, my friends, is choose to take that very first, courageous step. And so, I ask you, from the depths of my being, are you truly ready to discover just how incredibly powerful you can become in your solitude?